Aloha. This is in response to a question of how to not be so sensitive. More specifically, I just heard from someone who watches my cute videos who said, how do you develop thick skin? How do you not let life penetrate you so much? So my first response is, we're asking the wrong question. I don't believe developing thick skin, putting on armor, shielding myself from the reality of what is the answer. I've tried doing that for years and it did not get me where I wanted to go. I believe the question we get to look at is, how do I use my superpower of sensitivity to change the world? Big statement, I know. Here's a little bit of backstory. Here's what I know. I've been told, Amy, you're too sensitive my entire life. I can vividly recall standing in my father's kitchen. My parents divorced when I was very young. And I was upset about something and I was emoting, I was crying, I was concerned. And my father saying, Amy, you're too sensitive. Stop thinking about it. Fast forward at my mom's house, seeing disturbing images on the TV. And this was before the day and age when you could sit on a couch and just click a little remote. I was actually standing at the television and I was trying to cover my ears because the sounds of it was so much, but I was taking in the visual because I wanted to know what was happening in the world. And my mom saying, Amy, just change the channel. And you know what? I get it now in my adult mind that my parents were just trying to protect me. They were trying to help me not be so upset and concerned about the state of affair of the world. And yet it didn't support my superpower of sensitivity, my strength of intuition, my deep knowing of living close to the bone helps me experience incredible joy, incredible sorrow. And it's almost like I have my fingers on the pulse of the world and each other, that I can tune in and help create some magic there. What do I mean by that? I mean that once I learned that I could use my instrument of my nervous system to my advantage, I was able to hear people for where they were coming from, to not take it personally without having to set up armor or build a deeper moat with a more quick reactive bridge that retracts when people are coming near that I don't want to come near me. What do I mean by all that? I have sovereignty over myself of what I put in. This same person that sent the email that said she's concerned about her sensitivity, she also confided something she hasn't shared with many people, which is she drinks too much to try to numb the intensity of her experience, to dim out that static or the chronic stories that go through. Again, been there, done that. Trying to tone down and tune out didn't help me hone my superpowers. What has helped is clearing up that channel and recognizing that when I create a softer, tender heart, when I come home to myself without harboring resentments, without giving real estate to other people, places, and things that aren't acting according to my plan, when I actually free myself to the source of the energy that's around me, I'm more supple, I'm more approachable, I'm more receptive, and I'm not always there. I work up in my office, I come down the stairs, I'm making my coffee, and I am thinking of the next phone call or the next thing I need to do. Somebody comes around the corner, I get startled. Ah! Exaggerated startle response. It's not a saber-toothed tiger coming at me in the jungle. It's a person coming around the corner, and my nervous system responds big time. I believe that's how a lot of us are hardwired with the stress in our lives today. Something happens, a triggering event, an event that is somebody coming around the corner, which even calling something a triggering event implies a judgment. Events are neutral. Feedback is neutral. What's going on is just what's going on. It's the story I tell myself about it. And sometimes my nervous system is so far out beyond me that it starts to create the story before I'm even consciously aware of it. So stepping into command central of my nervous system with a daily yoga practice, a daily breath practice, getting good sleep, staying hydrated, some of those basics that I like to cover and review actually help me get less charged. When I was drinking and acting addictively in my life, I could trip over a rock in the middle of the proverbial field, and it would be a little rock and a little trip, nothing life-threatening or necessarily injurious. And it would feel like I was falling off a cliff. My nervous system would get hijacked with cortisol and stress hormones, and the adrenaline that I ran on just kept me running, thinking I'm falling off a cliff when it was just getting the kids to school on time on a Monday morning. My current saber-toothed tiger is my checking account balance. It's coming after me, and I can choose to see it as an enemy, or I can look at it and say, I'm going to face you head on. I'm going to take proactive steps to not let you be on E, to not let you get another late, what is it called? Finance charge when it gets overdrawn, and just bring the unconscious more conscious. I'm naming finance as one of the big stressors. Our health is a big stressor. Our romance is a big stressor. These are all relational aspects. And on a day-to-day basis, I am willing to step into Command Central, forgive myself for those moments when it feels intense, and recognize that when people say to me, Amy, you're too sensitive, change the channel. Or the big one I heard over and over again was, Amy, just relax. Maybe you've heard that too. Just relax, just take it easy. If only, right? I was once hooked up to a biofeedback machine, and the physical therapist said to me, relax. And my body, my pelvic floor muscles actually contracted into an uptight response. I was literally tight-assed. I was uptight, and I saw it on the screen. And it was an opportunity for me to find, what story can I tell myself that's going to help my nervous system, my vagus nerve, my body react in a less reactive way, to release. That was the word I came up with, release. And then it was, ah. So the story is, the biofeedback machine was showing a very small pinpoint circle. And the therapist said, now think of the things you do to relax. Think of your meditation. And at the time I was very upright in my meditation practice, and it got even tighter. She said, think of going for a walk. And all I could hear was the old messaging I heard as a child, like, walk with your gut tucked in and tuck your butt and don't be too loosey-goosey out there. And so that, which I thought was relaxing me, the walk in the woods, was actually an opportunity for me to practice more uptightness, more tight-assness, more constriction. My journey is one of releasing the pinch of dominant culture, releasing the grip of an uptight self, releasing the notion that there's a saber-toothed tiger coming after me, being willing to recognize that the people around me are here for a reason. When the student is ready, the teacher appears. So I resource myself daily through a higher power, through a higher calling, through my coaches, through my colleagues, through my friends, through my family, to bring my best self forth. And those moments where I'm not there, to practice forgiveness as soon as possible. Aloha and be well.